Hello everyone, and welcome to another horrific review. Today I'm discussing M3GAN 2.0, directed by Jared Johnson. 2 years after M3GAN's rampage, her creator Gemma resorts to resurrecting her infamous creation in order to take down Amelia, a military-grade weapon who was built by a defense contractor who stole M3GAN's underlying tech. Alright, folks, here we go. It's been a wee minute since I've done a Sunday night stream, so hope you're doing alright. Right, I was not expecting much from this movie, to be honest. That's why I kind of put off, like, even looking at it, but having a quiet weekend, I thought I'd watch something simple, if that makes sense. Didn't want something I was going to have to wrap my brain around, and honestly, that's pretty much what this is. This is not a horror movie, it's an action flick. It's an action flick aimed at teenagers. And I think that's the demographic it's aimed for. It's not for people like me anyway. That's become really obvious. I think the bits in the first one, there's a bit of self-awareness about it and what it was, sort of give it a bit of charm to it, and the circumstances with Gemma and Katie, etc., and how they came together and stuff, and how she was completely unprepared for a child coming into her life, etc., kind of made sense. This really does feel like it's a sequel churned out by committee. Like, honestly, this is the boardroom, Atomic Monster and Bloomhouse, that James Wan that just sat together and went, right, okay, what boxes can we tick, as in storytelling boxes can we tick to get this sequel out? And basically, like, think of every shit DVD, straight to DVD sequel that ever came out over the years, people like that in the first movie, let's stick that in. That's basically what this movie is. There's nothing to it. Now, for a popcorn flick, if you just want shiny lights and stuff, yeah, stick on the background, for the kids sort of thing. Yeah, that's fine. No challenging material in it whatsoever. And there's this whole build up, it's supposed to be the great discussion about AI and its evils and benefits and blah, blah, blah. But the script is just that weak. It's a childlike script, and the dialogue is that reductive. There's no conversation here. It's just talking points. There's like news articles and actually the sound bites. Sorry about that. Some idiots around it. That's happening a lot lately. It must be the summer. Just got all these Muppets coming around lately, racing. Anyway, yeah. Everything's just sound bites. It's your typical just American idea of having a conversation, nothing there. So we have got this scene to introduce, I think it's been shown already, but to introduce Amelia, she's a android, it's been designed for defense contracts, and they've stuck her in border of Turkey or somewhere like that. They've hired her out to the Saudi Arabian government because reasons. And of course, control centers all in America. We've got this, it's, and the thing is, the control panel looks like it's NASA in 1960s. Really, I don't know what they're trying to do with this. But yeah, they had her posing as a tourist. They bring her in, like the handcuff her, they put a bag over her head, they bring her into the base, then they shoot her in the head. Then the go as if they're going to burn the body in the furnace, they turn the furnace and leave the body there, and you're like, none of this makes sense. It's all just, oh, right, the plot needs to happen, let's just do the things. I think that if they've done better just having as an infiltration unit, just having her infiltrating and going in and doing an action sequence, but it sort of lets you know what this movie's going to be, like the incompetence and just, telegraphing of here's what's going to happen next with the movie. That's what it did. So we get Amelia's introduction. She does the mission, takes out the base, and then immediately goes rogue. And that's it. She's on the rampage now. And yeah, reasons. That's it. That's her setup. Then we have this whole, 20 to 25 minutes of the movie where it's just Gemma with a sour face on her, going around being an activist and doing TV shows and stuff, and Katie trying to cope in the dopey high school scene. Just to let you know, she's used martial arts because he used that about 6 times in this. That she's learned about Aikido, and fuck, it just takes ages going. Like, it starts off with a bang, okay, it's going to be an action flick, and then 25 minutes just drags. And I'm sorry, the character of Gemma is the most unlikable character next to Cole, obviously, but he's purposely designed to get. He's the butt of the joke type character. But Gemma is really unlikable in this. This is an example of supposedly being through something, that should bring people closer together, totally work. But she hasn't progressed as a character from the first movie. And she's just acting in the exact same way. And like I said, the first movie made sense because of the context of her character. She's a loner, she's involved in her work, but even then, she's got her 2 friends, the 2 partners, Cole and the other one, who's at least Cole's a butt of the jokes, so he has a purpose. The other one doesn't, apart from the odd soundbite chirping in that again. But she treats those 2 like shit. She treats Katie like shit. And yeah, that's it. We get 25 minutes of this shit, and supposedly, somebody can't manage a dairy or have somebody doing it. She's doing all these things, but she's got like important presentations to get funding for research and turned up late. No, it's not tired out trope that's been done over and over, and there's nothing new here. Even Jermaine Clement can't see of this. He plays Anton, but they have someone like Jermaine Clement and they do nothing with him. And the same when he comes in with a wheelchair, and then he's got the implant, shows that he can walk, etc. But that's really the extent of his character. He's just playing Laszlo, essentially, in this movie. That's all he's doing. He's just playing another version of Laszlo with a wee bit of Austin Powers mixed in. Like, he's a plot device as well. You would think the focus would be on him, but nah. That's another thing I do really badly. The sort of attempts at twisting and turning of double cross and who's on whose side. It gets tired. Like, this thing's 2 hours long. It's an action flick. It's supposedly a horror action flick, 90 minutes at most. Like, really, this is no business being this long. And that 25 minutes after the initial scene really drags this movie down. Like, it's bad. And you're tired. You're just going, can something actually start in the plot, please? There's sort of tips that they know. Should people be using their phones all the time, glued to them? Is AI a tool or a crutch? But that's always been human society. Without inspiration, people are lazy and feckless and don't think. That's why you need inspirational characters. You need people that make you go, wow, I could do that. We don't have that anymore. That's what's missing. It doesn't matter all the tools of the trade. Like, if you're living a busy life and you're doing things that fulfill you or inspire you, then you're not going to be scrolling social media. That's just a simple fact. Same with kids. If they were doing something constructive or had purpose, but nobody's giving purpose anymore, it's illegal. That's the culture now. Don't give anybody purpose. Don't try to aspire to be greater. That's it. So people just zone out, and the AI, the tools are just a crutch because it means you've got an excuse, and that's the core of it. If you say something, well, I used AI, you're not taking personal responsibility. And that's been used ad nauseum throughout human history. There are always those type. It just seems more prevalent now because it's amplified, I think because we're more connected, it seems like it's all on our doorstep, even though it's like individuals all over the world of 8 billion people. You feel like every one of them's in your face. That's one of the downsides, I think, of social media and that. But this does nothing to have the conversation. It's just sound bites for the sake of the plot. And honestly, and that's it. We'll have this scene where I suppose it was an attempt to get uh, the actress who plays Gemma in a dress to be sexy for a night to go to this gala, the 25th anniversary of Anton's. Is it Anton? God, I've even forgotten his name now. Alton, Alton, not Anton. Alton, his company's 25th anniversary bash. And yeah, this is all building up for that, and she's refused. But you know she's going. Like the plot telegraphs it. And you have this weird shit of the FBI breaking into Gemma's house. And this is obviously where M3GAN reveals herself, that she's there and control everything and set everything up. And we've already got telegraphed, why are you living in such a nice house and you can't afford anything? M3GAN's done it all. You know what I mean? There's nothing surprising in this. It's all telegraphed at least 20 minutes before any plot reveals. Like, you kind of know where this is going. It's really sleepwalking along. But really, the FBI are going to send in a tactical squad instead of just knocking on the door with a court order. And then this whole stupid convoluted scene. So we get introduced to Agent Sattler, who we met at the intro. He's like one of them decks out of the, Michael Bay's Transformers movies, one of them cardboard cutout. What was one? He's this dopey dancing idiot. One of them anyway. He plays the same. They all play the same trope characters anyway. It's one of them. This guy's an absolute balloon, and he's written like complete incompetence, trying to be a smart arse, but absolute crap. And yeah, it's just painful. Like I said, there's nothing here. Cole continues to be the butt of the joke throughout this movie. Like, they just, even when he has the chance of a character arc, or every dog has his day moment, like, the shit on him. That's the thing as well. There's opportunities in this to be heartfelt, to actually have a bit of stakes, but the campy humor, the Joss Whedon style humor. So you have a moment, and then a stupid thing happens, or a stupid line, or you see it in the trailer as well. She does a kung fu move and her jaw drops. It's all that shit throughout the movie. It's crap, and they don't understand moments of levity, because there's no horror in this anyway. So there's no need for moments of levity, and even a heartfelt scene like with Gemma, etc., and Katie, and even Gemma and M3GAN reconciling and understanding each other, all gets ruined with stupid, goofy humor. So that you just no stakes in it whatsoever, and it doesn't land. I just felt tired. Like, I felt like I needed a sleep after this. Just my brain's going, yeah. Because that's the thing. You get shiny lights and all aside. I think what they're trying to tap into are the action movies of the 80s and 90s. And as cheesy as they were, they had character. These things don't have character. That's the main issue. And the dialogue is so stunted because the people, and it's endemic throughout Hollywood and the Hollywood system, they just don't have writers anymore. They don't have people with life experience, so they can't write about anything because they're sanitized, androgynous androids themselves. They've nothing to pull on, so that's why everything just feels the same and corporate and bland and nothing, because these people just sleepwalk through life and have no actual real world experience whatsoever, so they can't translate it. They don't have human connections, so they can't translate a human connection. They're actually less human than the AI. There's better AI out there than the people that live in the Hollywood sphere. I'm just saying. You've had this whole thing that during the time, and we saw from the end of the first movie anyway, basically M3GAN had become the lawnmower man, uploaded herself. So she's had this whole bunker built. And yeah, it could have been good, but once again, I think they're trying to throw too much mud at the wall with this one. Oh, people might like this, people might like that, and that's why nothing lands, because there's no stakes. They'll have Christian, this other activist who, if you don't know he's the real bad guy in this, I don't know what to tell you. If you don't figure that out in the first half an hour of this movie, if you can stay awake, yeah, don't know what to tell you. And yeah, then his plot happens, and for reasons like, they're trying to set Katie up as a hero again, like the beats from the first one, but it's so forced. It really is so forced and like bland that you don't care. I think you have too many characters running about trying to do too many things, and I think that's another reason why just nothing sticks, because you don't really know where to focus. They're trying to have Cole be the hero. They're trying to have Gemma be the hero. They're trying to have M3GAN on a redemption arc. They're even trying to have Amelia like have a moment of humanity and change sides briefly, and then throw that in. God, that's it. It's shit. It really is. You're never sticking it on again. Put it like this: you watch it once just to say you did, but it's nothing there to do. What else? That's it. Anything you saw in the trailer is in the movie. All the good bits are in the trailer. When you put it in the context of the movie, like, yeah, you may as well just watch the trailer and you get everything you need. And there's a chance of a good scene there with Katie, but once again, the telegraphed it out so blandly and painfully that it just lost any momentum. And the same with Christian's demise. It did the whole thing. She's behind you. It's all been done in better movies. Put it like that. Every scene in this, every trope, every plot point has been done better somewhere else. Like that's what this feels like. It was written by AI. AI, write me a script that encompasses all these movies. And that's what it's done. It's shot it out onto the screen. And then they're setting up for a sequel. But really, the hard drive thing was dumb. The Sarah Connor Chronicles did it better. Almost like a teasing the Skynet sort of thing. Then the setup for a sequel. But where do they go from here? Because now they've done the world-ending event that they prevented. What's next? Army of robots. That's the only other place it can go. Another army of robots attack, and M3GAN has to build an army of robots to stop it. That's it. There's me personally. I believe there's nothing left in this. Like nowhere to go, because it'll just be a rehash of its own plot at this point. Because they kind of threw everything at the wall. They could have teased the hard drive thing for another movie. Was there something else in charge? But this is not smart enough to do that. Yeah, I'm really disappointed. I know Blumhouse are not you're not going to get thoughtful movies. Like they really are the low rent of the horror movie sphere. Oh yeah, and there's a scene where she's killing people. There's not even a drop of blood, like with a spike, and you're just like, yeah, okay, it's that sort of thing. Everything's done. So this is for the young audience anyway. It's for kids, and yeah, that's it. I'm not even annoyed or angry. I'm just like, nah. If that makes sense, you probably get it. Even my apathy reviewing this is just like, yeah, that's a forgettable thing. If I wasn't reviewing it, I would have switched it off. To be honest, this is one of them ones you'd watch in about 10 minutes in, you'd be like, nah, and off to something else. You'd scroll past, change the channel, whatever. Take the DVD out. What actions as you will. Yeah. So there you go. That was that. That was a thing. Finally did it. Quiet night. Thought may as well have a look. I really don't know whether to bother with the note you did last summer. The sequel, soft reboot, whatever that shit's going to be. It might be a few weeks before I even think about that, or I might not bother. We're not really much out at the moment, is there? It's very quiet. Not much in the way of like big releases of horror movies. So there's suppose all the stuff getting released in streaming, but haven't always old stuff. So back tomorrow, or not tomorrow. This is Saturday, isn't it? God's sake, I'm fucking losing my days at the moment. I've just been, my head's been to the grindstone. I think that's what I need to do, is just watch a silly movie and talk about it. But yeah, Monday I'm back with Steve. We're doing Dracula Has Risen from the Grave, so a bit of classic Hammer, and back to what we do in the Shadows again, where Jermaine Clement plays an excellent character. What a waste of someone like that, you know. And this, they did nothing with him. They could have done so much, but they did nothing with him after all the setup. Anyway, there you go. There's that. Let me know what you think in the comments. And until next time, keep up to date with the channel, do the technical things, and remember to keep it creepy, keep it horrific.